Welcome to Vegas Realty Check, your go-to podcast for all things Las Vegas real estate. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, we bring you the latest market trends, insider tips, and expert insights to navigate the ever-changing Las Vegas realty landscape. Tune in each week as we break down the data, answer your questions, and help you make the best real estate decisions in the entertainment capital of the world.
Hey, Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us back here at Vegas Realty Check, your local Las Vegas real estate news show. I am Trish Williams, and we have Mia Wolfe returning on our show today. So thank you for joining us, Mia. Today is our monthly market update where we go over everything that happened last month in December. Yeah. So, Mia, you're with EXP Realty.
Yes.
Yes. And Mia has been on the show many times, and we love having her here. She's one of our favorite guests. So, thank you for
being here.
Joining us again. And let's get into market numbers. Before that happens, news for the week. We did get another Fed dropped another 0.25% yesterday. Have not seen that reflect in mortgage rates yet, but we are hopeful that one day this will all turn over into mortgage rates because Fed has come down quite a bit this year.
I feel like everybody in their mind, like we've already anticipated it, and everybody's like looking at the future as if rates are already down.
Yeah,
Right?
like what luck is this though? Like they increase the rates and immediately it makes mortgage rates come up, but then now they're dropping it and it's like, hello, mortgage, where are you?
I know.
But yeah, there's a lot of other factors, bond market, things like that affect, what it does to mortgage rates, and all of that is not coming into play yet, but I'm hopeful that it will in 2025. Let's go 2025.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah. And with Christmas around the corner, it's a little bit slow this week, pretty quiet so far. Where I tell people, like, once we hit the 20th, I just expect everything else to happen after Christmas. It's very rare we have too many things going on during this week.
Yes, except, I'll probably get that one buyer that pops up.
Yeah.
Christmas. Like
Christmas Day that wants to...
Or New Year's Eve, of course, we'll make a way.
I remember back when... Gosh, it was when the market was super hot and rates were like at 3%, and there was like, just crazy demand.
Lines outside.
Yeah, it was the day after Thanksgiving. So it was like technically Black Friday shopping. And I was like, nobody's going to be out there. Great day to shop. My client wanted to go look at a house, and we were standing in line to look at a house. And I was like, well, guess everybody chose to do home shopping for Black Friday.
That's funny. Day
so
off.
really depends on the market. Really depends on the market. This year was pretty slow.
Yeah. Yes. I know. I think that everything January 1st, it'll be ready to hit it hard.
Yeah, I'm seeing a big uptick in like even Zillow activity. You know how when you have a listing, Zillow activity will show you how many people are saving it. Lots of saves. Right. There's lots of like saves and hearts and people interacting with the listings. And, even on our MLS, we reach out to the agent, and the agent's like, yeah, they're just window shopping right now. They're not ready to go out yet. So I just think we're going to start seeing a lot of activity in January.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yes.
So on that note, let's go into our inventory and our weekly numbers for this week. We're going to get into the monthly numbers of what happened in November, but right now we're talking about what happened this week. Single family homes on the market, they're 5151. So that dropped 121 from last week. Could be, it's not the same amount as under contract. So it's probably some people taking their home off the market for Christmas. Do you see that a lot?
Yes, I actually do. I mean, I've had buyers come in for a property, and the people are like, we're not showing it the month of December because of the holidays. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I had a seller recently too that we had a request on a showing, and they're like, no, I have family in town. We're going to wait till after the holidays. Yeah. So. Yeah, no, that definitely happens this time of year. Condos and townhouses, those are at 1821. So there's 8 more on the market this week than there were last week.
I think one of them's mine. New listing
townhouse. There you go. So that one of them is yours then.
Yes, that's right.
New listings, we have 692 new listings. That's 18 more than last week. So not a big change there. Price decreases were down a lot from the week before. There was 515 price decreases this week, and that was 181 less than last week.
Wow, that's
But on price adjustments too, I feel like, some people are saying, let's just wait till after the holidays.
right. And two, I guess on price adjustments too, usually it's kind of like at the end of the month or beginning of the month too. So
Yeah. It's when you do that like review with your sellers and say like, here's where we're at, here's where we're going. And I started, in certain markets, I do this, often, but in these markets where things are moving slowly, I'm starting to do like reverse searches where it's like not just looking at the price of what this home should be and should sell for, because that's a factor, but also looking at if somebody's shopping in this price range within a mile, what can they get and how does that compare?
Right.
So that's helpful. It's helpful in kind of finding out where we're at and where we need to be. Under contracts, those are at 681. That's up 56 from the week before. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good number. And solds were at 686 sold last week, and that was 24 more than the week before.
That's good. Picking up.
It seems like it's picking up. It's slowly picking up, but it is. The market's doing a little bit better now than it was, but it's still very slow out there. So let's get into our November numbers.
Okay.
How was November for you? Did you see it as like a good month or a slow month? Or
I think for buyers it was slow. For listings, it was a little bit slow. I mean, kind of felt flat. Like, it was kind of a blah month. I felt like for me, or at least my listings. I've got some out there, did a couple price reductions. So, it wasn't a fabulous month. I didn't feel like
I didn't feel like it
you?
either. I felt like I'd say at least 2 weeks before elections, silence. It was so silent, like crickets. And then right after the elections, we had this little like spurt of something that happened, and then hope. And then the rates spiked a bit, and then that little spurt just fizzled out.
Yes,
So
yes.
It's and rates have spiked again this week, but let's hope for something better.
I know, it just seems like something big is on the horizon. So
I believe that something big.
And I know we had talked too, because I always call you. I'm like, oh my gosh, how's your listings doing? Is it moving? Because we start freaking out sometimes, and it's crazy how fast the market can change and how things directly affect it, like immediately, like the election. Like it is so nuts. So people are paying attention to what's going on, and putting that towards their real estate mindset. So I think it's not a bad thing.
I still get so surprised by just the way people act. I'll do the same things at the same time. Like I hate to use this word, but sheepish, they're just like, it's like at the same time, everybody's like, oh, I'm buying. Oh, I'm not buying. Oh, I'm buying it's like all together. It's so, that still amazes me. And I don't know why. I should be totally used to this by now, but
I know it's true. It does. There's fads and phases, and I think everybody's listening to the same person sometimes, and you're like, who are we listening to?
Who's doing this real estate training out there that's like training our clients to say the exact same thing? Have you ever had that where you like meet with sellers and every seller is saying the same thing, and you're like, is there a university out there that is training you to say this?
Well, it's like the market's about to crash, or whatever, and you're like, oh my gosh, like where is this coming from?
Who is this person?
Right. And I'm just like, you know what? At the end of the day, everybody has to live in a house somewhere. They have to buy and they have to sell. Life happens, and regardless of the trends or what's going on in the world, like real estate is a thing, and it's going to be there, right?
Right. I have this client that is, wants to buy a home, first time home buyer. And then just like kept on, like every house we were looking at, she's like, I think maybe I should just rent. I think maybe I should just rent. And then finally I'm just like, if that's what's best for you, if that's what you feel like is best for you, then go for your gut. Like I was just like, like whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the right decision, but like that's gotta be, I'm not going to force you or talk you into something you don't want to do. Cause I thought that she was giving me so much pushback. I just felt like this was something she didn't want to do. So I was like, okay, that's fine.
No pressure.
Yeah. Go ahead and rent. And ever since I said that, she's like all in on buying. And I'm like,
That is hilarious.
it's like, no, renting is not an option. And I'm like,
She's a
agreed
defiant
with you.
client. That's good.
I agreed with you. I gave in. And she was like,
That's
no
so
way.
funny.
Absolutely not. I am buying a house and that is it. And I was like,
There's
okay.
so much psychology involved in real estate and marketing. I mean, maybe she just had to hear it for herself, like, oh, you can, and then like, no way, I'm gonna buy. That doesn't make any sense.
Maybe she felt like she was being pushed. And then when you like just pull back, it's like, no, that's insane. There's no way I'm going to keep on renting.
I know. It's so funny, the different personalities, because sometimes you'll get a younger client too, and I love it because it's like so much optimism and energy about it that it's just like, find me the best deal and I'm ready to go. And I'm like, that refreshes me a lot in real estate, that mindset.
I often find whenever I talk to somebody that says, I'm in no rush, I got plenty of time, I'm not going to rush into it. Those are always the people that are like, first house we see, they're like, let's write an offer. I'm like, what happened to no rush?
I know. Aren't those great whenever they honestly, because I always tell my buyers, so I'm like, it's like meeting a partner, like when you know. Like you don't have to talk yourself into it. It's easy. Things happen. And it's just like you have that moment of an epiphany and it's it. Like, this is it. What do I have to do to make it happen? Just tell me and we'll do it. And it flows like that. Those are like so great.
Yeah. Stars align.
Yes.
Everything works out. Yeah. So let's take a look at what happened in November. So the units sold, single family units, that was pretty darn low.
1647.
Yeah, 1647 sold for the month. That is a pretty low
And
number.
those were up from the month before. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
We've
was
had a slow fall.
Yeah, definitely. Median price point was $480,000. That was up 6.7%.
I mean, that's great. Moving to Las Vegas, it's like our home values have stayed or increased. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
People talk about the recession or whatever, like that. Your values are there and climbing since then. I mean, it's a great market to invest in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was in a mastermind recently where they were just talking about this lull that we've been in, because I mean, let's be honest, we've been in a lull this year. I'd say even last year, like it has been a really tough market. There's in like real estate mastermind groups, and I don't know the truth behind this, but they, there's like 80% of realtors haven't sold a home this year.
Even one.
Yes, yeah. So
yes.
it's been tough. It's been a tough market. We're definitely seeing that, but in this mastermind I was in, someone's been in the business for a very long time, was saying that they're pretty sure that we hit the bottom, and now we're on the upward trend.
Yeah,
so that's
I agree.
good. That's good. I hope so. I sure do hope so. So new listings, 2138. That was up. That was just for the month of November. And the median price of new listings, wow, that seems to be up a lot from the median price range of sold listings. Yeah. Sold listings was at 480, and median price range of new listings is 510. So definitely showing that they're increasing. And units available was up quite substantially at 28% higher, at 5,570. And we hit that. For the longest time, we were under 3 months of inventory. So we hit that over 3 months, 3.5 months of inventory.
Yeah, I can see even with new construction, they have inventory, move-in specials, 30-day, which, I mean, that's pretty new. It's not always like that.
No, new construction is like begging for buyers.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's like
I always watch. I mean, because when new construction is like offering us more commission and begging for buyers, it's a little slow.
it's a tough market.
Right.
Yeah. And when new construction's like, nope, we're not
We don't
paying you
need
anything.
you.
We ain't paying no closing costs. We're not giving any buyers concessions. You're like, okay, market's good.
That's the truth. That is the truth.
That is the truth. Always. Yeah. They're like, go, be on your way.
That is so true.
That is, definitely an indicator. And there's been times where I felt a slowdown in the market, like in my business, and I've called like my reps that I work with often with new builders, and I'm like, "How's things going for you? What are you guys offering?" And that's like definitely a good tell sign of what's going on. Units sold in condos and townhouses is 476. Now that was up 3%, but that's a low number too. 476 for the entire month is pretty darn low.
Yeah.
That median price range, condos and townhomes, 301, 250. I feel like that median price range has raised a little bit just because there's so many new construction condos and townhouses on the market right now, and those are definitely priced a little bit higher.
Yeah, and too, I mean, that's still a great price for those, but I mean, that's a pretty good 300,000. I mean, I see that one only climbing.
Yeah.
Don't you? I mean, I anticipate that closer to 350, honestly, like soon.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Easily.
Because if you're looking for like a brand new turnkey condo or townhouse with a garage
And all appliances, two-car garage, low HOA, like you can find it all day long for $340, even $330 some places. So.
Yeah, definitely. I had someone say because there's a lot of condos and townhouses now hitting the 400s.
Yeah.
And what was
sorry.
that?
I think my phone. Oops.
That's okay. In the market, and they were like, "That's almost $500,000 for a condo," and I'm like, "Well, when you put it that way, it sounds kind of."
True. The townhouses are so. I mean, it's a house like just the shared.
It's just like a house
wall.
with a shared wall.
They're so big and expansive, and they're amazing. I am such a fan of townhouses, especially for first time buyers.
Yeah, and low maintenance. You don't have to take care of a yard. Some of them have a little bit of a yard, so they're good options.
They're great options, and especially if you want a pool, there's a community pool that you don't have to pay for. You don't have to take the liability on, which is great too.
And they're often gated. Yeah. So definitely good options, and they're including a lot of features in a lot of them.
Definitely.
The new listings for condos and townhouses are at 729. That's up 15% from the month before. And that median price range is up for new listings, but lower than the median sold. So median price range is 294, and the median sold was at 301, 250. So it's down a little bit, and maybe that is that market. Again, I think a lot of that is new construction.
I do too.
That market where they're just they're discounting the homes to get them sold because they have so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're hitting almost 4 months of inventory, 3.9 months of inventory on condos and townhomes.
Wow.
And that's 1856 units available.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Definitely more on the market.
definitely more on the market, and breaching that over 3 month market where that is, more of a buyer's market than a seller's market.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And with actual homes being kind of like motivated sellers discounting their prices or something, it's pushing some people like, why would I buy a condo townhouse when I could buy a house, and get it at this price? So that is still a thing. So we went into all of those numbers. Now we can go into days on the market. Days on the market under 30 days. We're looking at, I'm toggling here. We're looking at let's get this. Okay. 57% of homes sold in less than 30 days on the market. So that's, that's not a great number.
No.
It's a little more than half, but
Right.
that definitely means our days of the market are, kind of rising a little bit.
Yeah.
21.4% were 30 to 60 days.
Wow.
So the majority of them are still in that like less than 60-day market, but it's still showing a little bit of slowdown in that activity in November. And then the next one is the 60 to 90 days, 11.5%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good chunk of the houses on the market, you know?
Yeah. And 90 days, I mean, 90 days in Las Vegas feels like forever.
Oh, for sure. Because, I mean, we're 28 days, 18 days, you know, is what I'm used to. We get used to that.
The 2-week market. I was talking to a lender the other day, and we were talking about like new agents that just got their license this year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, how hard it must be for them, because this market is, you know, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, and you've got to have these conversations you're not used to having, because it's like, okay, 30 days on the market, we need to reduce the price. If we want to be, you know, if we want to be competitive, we're going to have to reduce the price and look at things. And those are kind of things that you don't have to have that conversation with when the market is faster.
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's the people that were licensed like in 2021 that thought this is how real estate is, where you list a home and like in an hour you have offers, like multiple.
Yes.
So those people are really struggling right now, because that's how they got licensed at that time. That's how they thought real estate worked. And now they're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work that way anymore. And there is so much. I spend so much time just every week in the office just pushing listings out to all different places, trying to get them in different, I mean, even in just like social media, real estate groups, you know, across the country, and just whatever, just trying to just constantly push, because it's hopefully at some time that's going to be in front of someone's eyes that says, oh, that might work for me. But it's just a constant. It's constant. You just have to keep on promoting it. You can't just hope that you list it and it'll.
Yeah, and a lot of tactics out there. I mean, price reduction, of course, withdrawing it and putting it back on the market, which kind of skews our numbers.
It does.
You know, so I wish they would figure out a way to like alleviate that. But I mean, it is a tactic. Everybody sees it all the time. Like, oh, the house is on the market one day. Well, no, it's actually 101 days. But you know, they pulled it off and they put it back up again.
Right. They just put it up as a new listing. And there's a service that we have out there. There's a couple services like Zip Your Flyer, Property Blast, where we like blast it out to everybody that's registered in the MLS, and they get like a direct email of the property. And there was a time where if a listing wasn't moving, we do that and immediately like get phone calls. And now even that, we get like 100 of those a day. So they're just practically spam.
It's very saturated. I noticed that too.
Yeah. There was a time where it was just like, it wasn't often that those were blasted out. So it was just like, okay, that worked.
Right.
And now even that's not working. So we're just, as realtors, we constantly have to pivot and look for other avenues to get in front of people, because that's the name of the game, is getting in front of people.
Yeah, the days of just putting it on the MLS and doing nothing else, putting a sign in the yard, is over. You definitely have to be a marketing genius anymore. I mean, branding, you know, there is so much involved in it other than just what you see or maybe the client sees, that is constant. It's not just put it there and it's done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I talked to a lady the other day who was doing a for sale by owner. And she was like, oh, I've sold 5 homes in my past by myself for sale by owner. I sell all my own properties. And I was like, good luck in this market.
Yeah, I know.
You'll be calling me back. I know you will.
Exactly. I know. I had one too. It was a for sale by owner. We're looking in this certain neighborhood. It's like a Sun City neighborhood. And I wanted to get my client in there because, like, I mean, basically I would feel like it's a coming soon, not a for sale by owner, because they're going to have to list it with an agent.
Absolutely.
The likelihood of it is. And I'm like, can I get my client in? And they were like, oh, we're not offering compensation. Okay. You know, then I don't think we probably will not be seeing that house. You know,
it's up to your clients.
It's up to the clients, and if they wanted to, of course, you know, we could figure that out. But I said okay, and then we were gonna go see it, and they're like, well, we're gonna be gone for a month. I'm going, okay, how is that going to work? But call me whenever you get back and I'll sell it for you.
Yeah, and they probably have sold in much stronger markets. But I'm like, if realtors are having a challenge right now and we're experts and this is what we do and we're full-time in the business, good luck to you. Like it is going to be very hard and they're going to break down. But but then there's the ones that don't. Like I purchased my own home from a for sale by owner that had the home for sale by owner for 3 years before I bought it.
I mean, the deals are out there.
And it was a great deal. And I was like, it should have sold, but maybe you should have hired a realtor.
And smart agents would pick it up.
But yeah, so I picked it up. But still, it's like, and still like, that long of a time, and he was just like, and when I talked to him, he's like, I'm not hiring a real estate agent. I was like, it's okay, I want to buy it.
Well, I'm sure in that transaction, you did a lot of the buyer and the seller.
I did.
You did every bit of it.
Know what to do,
Right.
what, like documents or disclosures or anything. And that's common, because our stuff changes rapidly and all the time.
Yes.
And for them to, keep up with it and the training that we do and the things that we know of like what to do, what not to do, it's very risky.
And the timelines are short and you have to be on top of it. And most of us have transaction coordinators that help us keep an eye on the time. You've got to double check and triple check title and closing and all that stuff, which is just stuff that I don't think that the normal for sale by owner would be able to.
They think it's like selling a car, but don't understand how big of a deal it is because, cars are not regulated by like federal housing laws.
And honestly, it's like, I think a lawyer would say the same thing as like the liability that you're opening yourself up to is way beyond any scope that you would want to take, right?
Yeah, and it in the long
risk.
run will cost you a lot more than any commissions would ever cost you.
That is true. Yeah. We need to do a whole session on for sale by owner.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, speaking of commissions.
Yay.
Well, no, not commissions, for sale by owners, whatever. There was an iBuyer, so I'm not going to say the company name because I don't want to I don't know, get in trouble or whatever. You see my post,
I
right?
did, yes.
Yeah, so this company, they're a very popular iBuyer, right? And they advertise commercials, all kinds of stuff. No commissions, no commissions, no commissions. Well, my sellers, definitely this market's a struggle, and they're like, let's see at least what they have to offer. And I was like, sure, let's check it out. It doesn't hurt anything to request an offer. And the final offer price that we got from them included a 5% convenience to sell fee. And I'm like, what is this?
Hidden fee.
Yeah, but what is this? You advertise no commissions, but it just happens to be very similar to what a commission may cost. And that is with a lowball offer and no representation and like all this other stuff. Like, how is that? Tell me, please, how that is a good idea.
With all the regulations that are changing, I don't even know how they can even get away with that.
I don't either. I don't either. They just name it something else. They just call it something different. And that makes it okay, I guess. But it is. And then I could kind of see that maybe like the convenience aspect, people like, I just don't want to have my home on the market, don't want to have showings, don't want to prep the home, all this stuff like that. But the offer is so lowball. It is literally the final offer for this particular property was $50,000 less than the analysis I gave,
which is probably a high one because I feel like they're like $100,000 under like true market price.
Yeah, so it's like okay,
and that's before their commissions,
their sell convenience fee, experience fee, whatever you want to call that,
right?
Like. Insane. And they're very big and they do a lot of business and there's still a lot of people that still sell their homes to these people. And I'm just like, why? And from my end, we don't deal with them often. So they've, definitely had changes over the years. So I didn't, last time I seen it, I don't remember that fee being 5%, unless, like they've changed structures or something like that.
Some of them have gone out of business and lawsuits, a lot of lawsuits.
There's been lawsuits, yeah. But I was just like, wow, $50,000 less than market value and 5% experience fee. And then they often comes back and they will reduce the price even more afterwards.
Right.
Because they say inspections came up or
you
something.
missed your chance or offer. And which I think we've talked about this too, because solar is kind of the same thing. And I can see how your everyday consumer is going to, oh, okay, this is the easiest thing to do. Slap on some solar, make my electricity bill go down, sell my house, take the convenience fee or whatever. But like, if you're doing it, at least get another opinion, call in a realtor and get them to run the numbers for you. We can do it in literally in a matter of minutes from our phones, so like at least get a second opinion before you do that, because you really are throwing away so much hard-earned equity by doing this. And I can't even think the last time I know of somebody that sold to an iBuyer. Do you? Because they disappeared for a minute. They seems like they're coming back a little bit.
Yeah, my neighbors did. I was kind of upset with that, but I didn't. It wasn't them. It was their. So sadly, the neighbor had passed away, and it was his children. They were out of state, and they just figured that was the most convenient way to do it. And when they came to move stuff out of the house, I was like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And they're like, "Oh, we already sold to this company." And I was like, "Oh, like that? Like what was the final?" They told me the final price, and I was like, "Ugh."
For the neighborhood too, even it hurts the whole neighborhood, because I've got a listing and it's like it's a great priced. Okay, I mean we're talking it's like at $750. And honestly, there's a house in the neighborhood that sold at $709, and it was like the lowest sell. And I'm just like, what in the world? They just gave this house away. I mean, they just gave it away. What's going on? And it was an iBuyer. It was an iBuyer that listed it and sold too. So I don't know. There's some stuff going on.
Well, that's the case too. In my neighbor's case, they took a lot less. And then this iBuyer put the home back on the market, higher price, and sold it within 90 days. And they didn't do much to the home, like painted the walls, but it's just.
But you could have sold it for more.
That price, yes,
more.
yes, yes, and that, I mean, they turned around and sold it, and their marketing's no different than ours, So it's definitely like that. It would have sold for a higher price. They definitely had a loss there for that convenience.
Yeah.
So there's. I don't know. Not a good idea, but it's...
Right. At least get a realtor to give you their numbers if you're thinking about even doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. And even it's like the communication from the realtor, letting you know what's happening, keeping you in the loop of what's going on, talking about each part of the contract and helping you understand what's happening there is so valuable in itself. So, some people don't understand, they're just in this contract and it's like, okay, here's the contract, sign here, do this. And you don't really realize what's happening unless someone's saying, wait, look at this.
I know it is a definite process, and it's almost one that you can't really truly understand until you go through it. Right. And the going through it part is the part that you need the agent for.
Absolutely. So Mia, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they reach you?
So you can reach me at 702-412-7255. I forgot my own number for a second. Always available, Instagram, Facebook, all over the place.
Yes, definitely. And if you're watching the show, you can always go to our link tree, which is www.realtycheck.vegas. You can send listener questions, and we can answer your questions live on the show. You can connect with us on all types of social media through there. And
you can leave us good comments.
Leave good comments.
And
follow
subscribe
the show.
and like.
Subscribe, do all the things.
Yes.
And if you want to reach me directly, my phone number is 702-308-2878. I'm Trish Williams. And thank you for being here on the show. And thank you guys for joining us. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.